What if someone told you that the difference between extraordinary success and mediocrity isn't talent, luck, or even hard work alone? What if the real secret lies in something far more powerful and accessible to everyone? Today, we're going to explore one of the most profound truths ever spoken. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. This isn't just a motivational quote to hang on your wall. This is a fundamental law of success that governs how wealth is created, how empires are built, and how ordinary people transform their lives into something extraordinary. When you understand this principle and learn to apply it consistently, you'll begin to see the world differently. You'll start noticing opportunities that were always there but invisible to you before. More importantly, you'll develop the courage and wisdom to act on them. Throughout history, the most successful individuals have mastered this art. They understand that opportunities don't just appear randomly. They're interconnected, building upon each other in an endless chain of possibility. Every opportunity seized creates two more. Every door opened reveals three more waiting behind it. This is why the rich get richer, why successful people keep succeeding, and why those who understand this principle seem to live charmed lives. But here's what most people don't realize. This isn't about being lucky or being born into privilege. This is about developing a specific mindset and set of skills that anyone can learn. It's about understanding the strategic principles that Sun Tzu outlined in The Art of War thousands of years ago and applying them to the modern battlefield of business, career, and life. The ancient wisdom that still rules modern success. Sun Tzu wrote The Art of War over 2,500 years ago, yet its principles remain as relevant today as they were on ancient battlefields. One of his most powerful teachings is about timing and opportunity. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not will be victorious. But Sun Tzu wasn't just talking about military strategy. He was revealing a universal truth about how success works in any arena. The greatest strategic minds throughout history have understood that victory doesn't come from strength alone, but from the ability to recognize and seize the right moment. Sun Tzu taught that the supreme excellence is to subdue the enemy without fighting, to achieve your objectives through superior positioning and timing rather than brute force. This principle translates directly to modern success. Consider how Jeff Bezos applied this principle when he founded Amazon. In 1994, while working at a hedge fund, Bezos noticed that internet usage was growing by 2,300% per year. Most people saw this as an interesting statistic. Bezos saw it as a massive opportunity that wouldn't wait for anyone. He didn't have retail experience. He didn't have a background in technology. What he had was the wisdom to recognize that opportunities multiply as they are seized and the courage to act immediately. Bezos could have spent months planning, researching, and preparing. Instead, he quit his lucrative job, drove across the country, and started selling books from his garage. Why books? Because he understood another principle from Sun Tzu. All warfare is based on deception. Not deception in the sense of lying, but in the sense of appearing small and unthreatening while building unstoppable momentum. Books were perfect because they seemed like a small, manageable market that wouldn't threaten established retailers. But Bezos knew something his competitors didn't. He understood that this first opportunity would create countless others. Selling books online would teach him about e-commerce, logistics, customer service, and digital marketing. Each lesson learned would reveal new opportunities. Each problem solved would unlock new possibilities. Today, Amazon isn't just a bookstore. It's everything from cloud computing to streaming entertainment to space exploration. This is how opportunities multiply. You don't wait for the perfect opportunity. You seize the one in front of you and let it teach you how to recognize and capture the next one. The psychology of opportunity recognition. Most people live their entire lives surrounded by opportunities they never see. Why? Because they've been conditioned to think like employees rather than entrepreneurs, like followers rather than leaders, like victims of circumstance rather than creators of destiny. They wait for opportunities to be handed to them instead of actively hunting for them. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, understood this principle deeply. His mentor, Benjamin Graham, taught him that the stock market is like a voting machine in the short run but a weighing machine in the long run. But Buffett took this wisdom further. He realized that opportunities in the market aren't random events. They're predictable patterns that occur when fear and greed create temporary imbalances. While other investors panic during market crashes, Buffett saw massive opportunities. During the 2008 financial crisis, when banks were collapsing and everyone was selling, Buffett invested billions in companies like Goldman Sachs and General Electric. He wasn't being reckless. He was applying Sun Tzu's principle of positioning. While others were reacting emotionally, he was positioning himself strategically. Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This isn't just investment advice. It's a life philosophy based on understanding that opportunities often disguise themselves as problems. When everyone else is running away from something, that's often the exact moment when the biggest opportunities present themselves. Consider how Oprah Winfrey applied this principle early in her career. In 1983, she was offered a job hosting a failing morning talk show in Chicago called AM Chicago. The show was struggling, the format was stale, and everyone expected it to be canceled soon. Most people would have seen this as a dead-end opportunity if they saw it as an opportunity at all. But Oprah understood something crucial. Problems are just opportunities in disguise. She didn't see a failing show, she saw a blank canvas. She didn't see limitations, she saw freedom to experiment. Within months, she had transformed the show's format, focusing on topics that mattered to real people rather than celebrity gossip and superficial entertainment. The show became so successful that it was renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show and eventually became the highest-rated daytime talk show in history. But here's the key. Oprah didn't stop there. She understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. The success of her talk show created opportunities in publishing, film production, magazine publishing, and eventually her own television network. Each success built upon the previous one, creating an empire worth billions of dollars. The strategic mindset, thinking like Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu taught that every battle is won before it's fought. This means that victory comes from preparation, positioning, and understanding the terrain better than your opponents. In modern terms, this translates to developing what we might call opportunity intelligence, the ability to see possibilities that others miss and to position yourself to capitalize on them. Consider how Reed Hastings applied this principle when he founded Netflix. In the late 1990s, Hastings was running a small software company when he got frustrated with late fees at Blockbuster. Most people would have simply complained and moved on. Hastings saw an opportunity that would eventually destroy an entire industry. But Hastings didn't just react emotionally. He thought strategically, like Sun Tzu would have advised. He analyzed the terrain. DVD technology was improving, postal services were reliable, and internet infrastructure was advancing rapidly. He positioned his company not just to compete with Blockbuster's current model, but to make that model obsolete. The genius of Netflix wasn't just the DVD by mail service. It was the understanding that this was merely the first step in a larger strategy. Hastings knew that internet speeds would eventually allow for streaming video, and he positioned Netflix to capture that opportunity before anyone else even realized it existed. While Blockbuster was fighting yesterday's war, Netflix was preparing for tomorrow's battlefield. This is what Sun Tzu meant when he wrote, "The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals." Hastings didn't need to be the smartest person in the room or have the most resources. He needed to understand how different forces were combining to create new possibilities and position himself to benefit from those combinations. Today, Netflix isn't just a streaming service. It's a content creation powerhouse that has fundamentally changed how entertainment is produced and consumed worldwide. This happened because Hastings understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized, and each success creates the foundation for even greater successes, creating opportunities when none exist. But what happens when you look around and genuinely don't see any obvious opportunities? This is where most people give up, convinced that success is reserved for others who are luckier or more privileged. But the most successful people understand a crucial truth. The biggest opportunities are often invisible to everyone else, which is exactly what makes them so valuable. Sun Tzu wrote, "Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby you can be the director of the opponent's fate." In modern terms, this means that the most powerful opportunities are often the ones that don't look like opportunities to most people. Consider how Sarah Blakely created Spanx from nothing. In 2000, Blakely was selling fax machines door to door when she became frustrated with the lack of undergarments that could smooth lines under white pants. She didn't have fashion experience, manufacturing knowledge, or significant capital. What she had was the understanding that if she was experiencing this problem, millions of other women probably were too. Most people would have assumed that major clothing companies had already considered this problem and decided it wasn't worth pursuing. Blakely understood that sometimes the biggest opportunities hide in plain sight, overlooked because they seem too simple or too niche to be profitable. She spent evenings researching hosiery manufacturing, cold calling factories, and learning about textiles. She invested her life savings of $5,000 and spent 2 years developing a prototype. When department stores initially rejected her product, she didn't give up. She recognized this as another opportunity to learn and adapt her approach. Blakely understood Sun Tzu's principle that, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. She studied her market relentlessly, understanding exactly what women needed and why existing products failed to deliver it. She also understood her own strengths, persistence, direct communication skills from her sales background, and the ability to see simple solutions to complex problems. The breakthrough came when she personally demonstrated her product to a buyer at Neiman Marcus, showing the dramatic difference it made under white pants. This single sale led to others, which led to Oprah featuring Spanx as one of her favorite products, which led to national distribution deals, which led to Blakely becoming one of the youngest self-made female billionaires in history. But the most important lesson from Sara Blakely's story isn't about creating a successful product. It's about understanding that opportunities can be manufactured through careful observation, persistent effort, and strategic thinking. She didn't wait for someone to hand her an opportunity. She created one from scratch by identifying an unmet need and positioning herself to fulfill it. The compound effect of seized opportunities. One of the most powerful aspects of understanding that opportunities multiply as they are seized is recognizing the compound effect that occurs over time. Each opportunity you seize doesn't just provide immediate benefits. It builds your skills, expands your network, increases your resources, and most importantly, trains your mind to recognize future opportunities more quickly and accurately. Consider how Elon Musk has applied this principle throughout his career. When he sold his first company, Zip2, for over $300 million, most people would have retired or invested conservatively. Musk understood that this success was just the foundation for bigger opportunities. He used the proceeds to fund X.com, which eventually became PayPal. When PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion, Musk again had the choice to retire wealthy. Instead, he recognized that his success had given him not just money, but credibility, experience, and access to networks that could help him tackle even bigger challenges. He simultaneously founded SpaceX and invested in Tesla, two companies attacking problems that most people considered impossible or impractical. The key insight is that Musk didn't see these as separate ventures. He understood that success in one area creates opportunities in others. The engineering challenges at Tesla informed the battery technology development that benefits SpaceX. The manufacturing innovations at SpaceX influenced the production processes at Tesla. The public attention from both companies creates opportunities for new ventures like Neuralink and The Boring Company. This is what Sun Tzu meant when he wrote about the importance of positioning and momentum. Each victory creates better positioning for the next battle. Each success builds momentum that makes future successes more likely and more impactful. Mark Benioff demonstrated this same principle when he founded Salesforce. As a successful executive at Oracle, Benioff could have continued climbing the corporate ladder. Instead, he recognized that the internet was creating an opportunity to fundamentally change how business software was delivered and used. But Benioff's genius wasn't just in recognizing this opportunity, it was in understanding how to position Salesforce to multiply opportunities as they were seized. He didn't just create better software. He created a new business model that would generate ongoing opportunities for expansion, partnership, and innovation. Salesforce started as a simple customer relationship management tool delivered through the internet instead of installed on individual computers. But Benioff understood that this foundation would create opportunities to expand into other types of business software, to build an ecosystem of third-party developers, and to establish Salesforce as the platform that other companies would build upon. Today, Salesforce isn't just a software company. It's an entire ecosystem that has spawned thousands of other companies, created millions of jobs, and fundamentally changed how businesses operate. This happened because Benioff understood that the first opportunity was just the beginning, not the end goal. The network effect of success. One of the most misunderstood aspects of how opportunities multiply is the role that relationships and networks play in creating and recognizing new possibilities. Sun Tzu wrote extensively about the importance of intelligence gathering and understanding the terrain, but in modern terms, this translates to building and maintaining strategic relationships that provide access to information, resources, and opportunities that wouldn't be available otherwise. Consider how Michael Dell applied this principle when he started Dell Computer from his college dorm room. Dell didn't have superior technology or massive capital. What he had was the insight that personal computers were becoming commoditized, and that the real opportunity lay in changing how they were manufactured, sold, and supported. But Dell's breakthrough wasn't just about direct sales and custom configuration. It was about understanding how to build relationships with suppliers, customers, and partners that would create ongoing opportunities for growth and innovation. By working directly with customers, Dell gained insights into what they really needed, which informed product development in ways that traditional computer companies couldn't match. By building close relationships with component suppliers, Dell was able to access the latest technology faster and at better prices than competitors who maintained arm's-length relationships. By creating partnership programs with software companies and service providers, Dell expanded the value proposition for customers while creating new revenue streams for the company. Each of these relationships created opportunities for further relationships. Satisfied customers became references for new customers. Successful suppliers introduced Dell to other suppliers. Partnership successes led to expanded partnerships and joint ventures. This network effect accelerated Dell's growth and created defensive barriers that competitors found difficult to overcome. The same principle applies to individual career success. Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, understood this deeply when he created what would become the world's largest professional networking platform. But Hoffman's insight wasn't just about creating a platform for networking. It was about understanding that professional relationships are the infrastructure through which opportunities flow. Before starting LinkedIn, Hoffman had already built a successful career in technology, including founding PayPal alongside Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. But he recognized that his network of relationships was actually more valuable than any single business venture, because those relationships would continue creating opportunities long after any particular company succeeded or failed. LinkedIn succeeded because it solved a real problem that Hoffman understood from personal experience: how to maintain and leverage professional relationships at scale. But the platform's success created even more opportunities for Hoffman and his network because it became the infrastructure that millions of other professionals used to create and discover opportunities. The courage to act despite uncertainty. One of the biggest barriers that prevents people from seizing opportunities is the need for certainty and guarantee before taking action. They want to know exactly how things will turn out before they commit resources or take risks. But opportunities, by their very nature, involve uncertainty. If success were guaranteed, it wouldn't be an opportunity, it would be a transaction. Sun Tzu understood this deeply when he wrote, "He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious." This doesn't mean waiting passively for perfect conditions. It means preparing thoroughly while remaining ready to act decisively when the moment arrives, even without complete information. Consider how Jack Ma applied this principle when he founded Alibaba. In 1999, Ma was an English teacher in China who had been rejected from numerous jobs, including positions at KFC and the local police force. He had no background in technology or business, and most people would have considered him an unlikely candidate to build one of the world's most valuable companies. But Ma understood something crucial about opportunities: they don't wait for you to become fully qualified. When he discovered the internet and realized that Chinese businesses weren't represented online, he didn't spend years learning programming or getting an MBA. He recognized that the opportunity was time-sensitive and that delaying action could mean missing it entirely. Ma's first internet company failed. His second internet company also failed. Most people would have concluded that they weren't cut out for the internet business. But Ma understood that each failure was teaching him something valuable about the market, about technology, and about building teams. Each failure was actually creating the foundation for eventual success. When he started Alibaba, Ma still didn't have all the answers. He didn't know exactly how the company would make money, how it would compete with established players, or how it would scale internationally. What he had was the understanding that opportunities multiply as they are seized, and that taking action with incomplete information was better than waiting for perfect clarity that might never come. Alibaba succeeded because Ma was willing to adapt and learn while building. When the original business model didn't work perfectly, he modified it. When new opportunities appeared, he seized them. When challenges arose, he treated them as learning experiences rather than failures. This flexibility and willingness to act despite uncertainty is what separated Ma from thousands of other entrepreneurs who had better credentials but less courage. The same principle applies to smaller-scale opportunities in everyday life. Consider how Melanie Perkins built Canva into a design platform worth billions of dollars. Perkins started by teaching design software to other students at university, charging $25 per hour for lessons. Most people would have seen this as a temporary side job, something to earn a little extra money while in school. But Perkins understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. Teaching design software taught her about user experience problems that professional designers took for granted. She noticed that most people found existing design tools intimidatingly complex, and that there was a massive gap between simple tools that produced amateur results and professional tools that required years of training. This observation led to her first business venture, a digital yearbook company called Fusion Books. The company was moderately successful, but more importantly, it taught Perkins about building technology products, managing teams, and raising capital. These skills became the foundation for Canva, which democratized design by making professional quality tools accessible to anyone. The key insight is that Perkins didn't wait until she had all the skills and resources needed to build Canva. She started with the opportunity in front of her, teaching design software, and let that experience teach her what she needed to know for the next opportunity. Each step built upon the previous one, creating momentum and capability that eventually enabled her to tackle much bigger challenges. Modern titans and their opportunity strategies. The most successful people in the modern world haven't gotten where they are through luck or inheritance alone. They've mastered the art of recognizing, creating, and seizing opportunities in ways that compound over time. By studying their strategies, we can learn to apply the same principles in our own lives, regardless of our starting point or current circumstances. Consider how Brian Chesky and his co-founders built Airbnb into a global hospitality empire. In 2007, Chesky was a struggling industrial designer who couldn't afford rent on his San Francisco apartment. When a design conference sold out all the hotel rooms in the city, most people would have seen this as a problem for visitors. Chesky saw it as an opportunity for himself. He and his roommate bought air mattresses and rented them out to conference attendees, providing breakfast and a place to sleep for $80 per night. This wasn't a sophisticated business plan. It was a desperate attempt to pay rent. But Chesky understood intuitively that opportunities multiply as they are seized, and he was willing to start with whatever was available to him. The air mattress rental was moderately successful, but more importantly, it taught Chesky something valuable about markets and human behavior. People were willing to stay in strangers' homes if the experience was well-designed and trustworthy. There was massive underutilized capacity in residential real estate that could be converted into hospitality inventory. Technology could solve the trust and coordination problems that had previously made such arrangements impractical. These insights led to the creation of Airbnb, which started as a simple website for renting air mattresses and spare rooms. But Chesky and his team understood that this was just the beginning. Each booking taught them something about what hosts and guests really needed. Each problem they solved revealed new opportunities for expansion and improvement. Today, Airbnb isn't just a room rental service. It's a comprehensive travel platform that includes experiences, restaurants, and even adventure travel. The company has fundamentally changed how people think about travel, accommodation, and hospitality. This happened because Chesky understood that the first opportunity, renting air mattresses to conference attendees, was just the seed that could grow into something much larger. The same pattern appears in the career of Whitney Wolfe Herd, who founded Bumble after leaving Tinder under difficult circumstances. Most people would have seen being forced out of a company they helped build as a devastating setback. Wolfe Herd understood that setbacks often create unexpected opportunities for those who are prepared to recognize and seize them. Her experience at Tinder had taught her valuable lessons about building social networks, understanding user behavior, and navigating the challenges of the dating app market. But it had also shown her significant problems with existing platforms, particularly around safety and empowerment for women users. These problems represented opportunities for someone willing to build a better solution. Bumble succeeded because Wolfe Herd didn't just create another dating app. She reimagined how online dating could work by putting women in control of initial interactions. This simple change addressed real problems that women experienced on other platforms while creating a differentiated product that could compete effectively in a crowded market. But Wolf Herd understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. The success of Bumble's dating platform created opportunities to expand into friendship and professional networking. The company's focus on empowering women created opportunities for partnerships with brands and organizations that shared similar values. The platform's success created opportunities for international expansion and additional product development. Today, Bumble is a publicly traded company worth billions of dollars that has expanded far beyond dating to become a comprehensive platform for building meaningful connections. This happened because Wolf Herd understood that the first opportunity, creating a better dating app, was just the foundation for a much larger vision. The art of strategic patience. One of the most misunderstood aspects of seizing opportunities is the role that timing plays in determining success or failure. Sun Tzu wrote extensively about the importance of timing, noting that the same action can lead to victory or defeat depending on when it's executed. This doesn't mean waiting passively for perfect conditions, but rather preparing thoroughly while remaining alert for the right moment to act. Consider how Tim Cook applied this principle during his tenure as CEO of Apple. When Cook took over from Steve Jobs, many observers expected him to immediately launch new product categories to prove his innovative credentials. Instead, Cook understood that the company's existing products and ecosystem represented enormous opportunities that had not yet been fully exploited. Rather than rushing into new markets, Cook focused on perfecting Apple's execution in existing categories while carefully preparing for future expansion. He improved manufacturing efficiency, expanded international distribution, and strengthened supplier relationships. These improvements might have seemed incremental to outside observers, but they created the foundation for massive growth in iPhone and iPad sales worldwide. Cook also understood that timing is crucial when entering new product categories. Rather than rushing to market with half-finished products, he waited until Apple could deliver solutions that were genuinely superior to existing alternatives. This strategic patience paid off with the Apple Watch, which became the world's best-selling smartwatch, and AirPods, which dominated the wireless earphone market. The key insight is that Cook recognized existing opportunities that were still being underexploited while preparing carefully for future opportunities. He understood that maximizing current opportunities often creates better positioning for seizing future opportunities, rather than rushing prematurely into new areas. The same principle applies to individual career development. Consider how Satya Nadella built his career at Microsoft before eventually becoming CEO. Nadella joined Microsoft as a software engineer in 1992, when the company was primarily focused on personal computer software. Over the following decades, he could have jumped to other companies for potentially faster advancement or higher immediate compensation. Instead, Nadella understood that staying within Microsoft while the technology industry evolved would give him unique insights into how large technology companies adapt to changing markets. He took on roles in different divisions, learning about enterprise software, online services, and cloud computing. Each position taught him something valuable about technology trends, customer needs, and organizational dynamics. When Nadella became CEO in 2014, Microsoft was struggling to remain relevant as the technology industry shifted toward mobile devices and cloud computing. Many observers expected the company to continue declining relative to competitors like Google, Apple, and Amazon. But Nadella's deep understanding of both technology trends and organizational capability allowed him to position Microsoft to capitalize on the shift toward cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Under Nadella's leadership, Microsoft's market value increased from about $300 billion to over $2 trillion, making it one of the world's most valuable companies. This transformation happened because Nadella understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized, and that patient preparation often leads to better outcomes than impulsive action. Creating your own opportunity ecosystem. The most successful people don't just seize individual opportunities, they create entire ecosystems that generate ongoing opportunities over time. This requires thinking beyond immediate gains to consider how current actions can create platforms for future success. Sun Tzu would have recognized this as the ultimate expression of strategic thinking, positioning yourself so that victory becomes inevitable rather than simply possible. Consider how Oprah Winfrey built her media empire by understanding this principle. After establishing herself as a successful talk show host, Winfrey could have continued focusing solely on television. Instead, she recognized that her relationship with audiences could be leveraged across multiple media platforms and business ventures. Winfrey didn't just expand randomly into different areas. She carefully chose opportunities that reinforced and amplified her core strengths while creating new possibilities for growth. Her book club leveraged her influence to drive publishing sales while strengthening her relationship with readers. Her magazine provided a platform for content that couldn't fit into television format while creating additional touchpoints with her audience. Each successful venture created credibility and resources that could be invested in the next opportunity. The success of her production company led to opportunities in film and cable television. Her expertise in media created opportunities for strategic investments in other media companies. Her personal brand created opportunities for product endorsements, speaking engagements, and consulting relationships. Today, Winfrey's net worth exceeds $2.5 billion, but more importantly, she has created an ecosystem of businesses and relationships that continues generating new opportunities. Her success demonstrates that the most powerful approach to seizing opportunities is creating systems that multiply possibilities rather than. The same principle applies to entrepreneurs who build platforms rather than just products. Consider how Mark Benioff designed Salesforce not just as a software company, but as a platform that would enable thousands of other companies to build complementary businesses. This approach created what economists call network effects, where the value of the platform increases as more participants join. Salesforce's AppExchange marketplace allows third-party developers to create applications that integrate with Salesforce's core software. This creates value for Salesforce customers, who get access to specialized tools they need. It creates value for developers, who get access to Salesforce's customer base. And it creates value for Salesforce, which benefits from increased customer loyalty and platform stickiness. But the genius of this approach goes beyond immediate business benefits. Each successful third-party application makes Salesforce more valuable to customers, which attracts more developers, which creates more applications, which attracts more customers. This virtuous cycle creates ongoing opportunities for growth and innovation that compound over time. The platform approach also creates defensive advantages that make it difficult for competitors to displace Salesforce. Customers who have invested in multiple applications that integrate with Salesforce face significant switching costs if they want to move to a competitor. Developers who have built successful businesses on the Salesforce platform have strong incentives to continue investing in that ecosystem rather than starting over with a different platform. The digital age, infinite opportunities for those who understand. The internet and digital technologies have created more opportunities for wealth creation and career advancement than any previous period in human history. But they've also created more complexity and faster change, which means that the ability to recognize and seize opportunities has become even more crucial for success. Consider how MrBeast, Jimmy Donaldson, applied the principle that opportunities multiply as they are seized to build one of the most successful media empires of the digital age. Donaldson started making YouTube videos as a teenager from his bedroom in North Carolina, initially focusing on video game commentary and reaction content. His early videos received only a few hundred views each, and most people would have concluded that YouTube wasn't a viable career path. But Donaldson understood something crucial about digital platforms. They provide immediate feedback on what works and what doesn't, which creates opportunities for rapid learning and improvement. Instead of getting discouraged by low view counts, he treated each video as an experiment that taught him something about audience preferences, content formats, and platform algorithms. Donaldson spent thousands of hours studying successful YouTube creators, analyzing what made their content engaging, and experimenting with different approaches in his own videos. He understood that mastering the platform required treating it like a skill that could be developed through deliberate practice, not just a hobby or creative outlet. The breakthrough came when Donaldson shifted from commentary content to elaborate stunts and challenges that no other creator was attempting. His video, I Counted to 100,000, took over 40 hours to film and attracted millions of views because it was genuinely unique and entertaining. This success taught him that audiences reward creators who are willing to go further than anyone else in terms of effort and creativity. But Donaldson understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. The success of his stunt videos created opportunities for brand partnerships and sponsorships. The increased revenue allowed him to invest in even more elaborate content, which attracted larger audiences, which created opportunities for bigger sponsorship deals and merchandise sales. Today, MrBeast's YouTube channels have over 200 million subscribers combined, and his business empire includes restaurants, consumer products, and philanthropic initiatives. His success demonstrates that digital platforms create opportunities for individuals to build massive audiences and businesses without traditional gatekeepers or massive upfront investments. The key insight is that Donaldson didn't wait for opportunities to be handed to him. He created them by understanding how digital platforms work and by being willing to experiment, learn, and adapt faster than his competitors. He applied Sun Tzu's principles of positioning and momentum in a digital context, building advantages that compound over time. The mindset shift that changes everything. Understanding that opportunities multiply as they are seized requires a fundamental shift in how you view challenges, setbacks, and everyday situations. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you learn to see them as information and stepping stones. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, you learn to create momentum with whatever resources are available to you. This mindset shift is what separates people who build extraordinary success from those who remain stuck in patterns of limitation and frustration. It's not about being recklessly optimistic or ignoring real constraints. It's about developing the strategic thinking that allows you to see possibilities that others miss and the courage to act on those possibilities even when outcomes are uncertain. Consider how this mindset shift applied to the career of Kevin Hart, who became one of the world's highest-paid comedians despite facing numerous obstacles and setbacks early in his career. Hart grew up in a challenging environment in Philadelphia, struggled with his father's drug addiction, and was initially rejected by comedy clubs and audiences when he started performing. Most people would have interpreted these experiences as evidence that comedy wasn't a viable career path. Hart understood that every setback was teaching him something valuable about performance, audience dynamics, and the entertainment industry. Each rejection helped him refine his material and develop the resilience needed for long-term success. Hart didn't wait for comedy clubs to book him. He created his own opportunities by performing wherever audiences would listen, including amateur nights, small venues, and even informal gatherings. He understood that stage time was the most valuable resource for developing his skills, and he was willing to perform for free or minimal payment to get that experience. The breakthrough came when Hart shifted from trying to imitate other comedians to developing his own unique voice and perspective. He recognized that his height, family experiences, and personal challenges could become sources of material that differentiated him from other performers. Instead of seeing his background as limitations, he transformed them into competitive advantages. But Hart understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. Success in stand-up comedy created opportunities in television and film. Success in entertainment created opportunities for business ventures, including production companies, fitness brands, and digital media platforms. Each success built upon the previous one, creating an empire worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The key insight is that Hart developed what we might call opportunity vision, the ability to see potential in situations that others viewed as problematic or limiting. This vision, combined with willingness to act despite uncertainty, allowed him to build success from circumstances that might have defeated someone with a different mindset. The compound interest of seized opportunities. One of the most powerful aspects of understanding that opportunities multiply as they are seized is recognizing how small actions compound into massive results over time. Just as compound interest can turn modest savings into substantial wealth, seized opportunities create momentum that accelerates success in ways that seem almost magical to outside observers. Consider how this principle applied to the career of Gary Vaynerchuk, who transformed his family's wine business from a small liquor store into a $60 million enterprise by understanding digital marketing before most businesses recognized its potential. Vaynerchuk didn't start with advantages. He was working in his father's wine shop in New Jersey, helping customers and managing inventory. But Vaynerchuk recognized that the internet was creating unprecedented opportunities for small businesses to reach large audiences without massive marketing budgets. In 2006, he started Wine Library TV, a daily video blog where he tasted wines and shared his opinions with viewers. The format was simple and the production quality was basic, but Vaynerchuk understood that consistency and authenticity were more important than polish. Each episode of Wine Library TV was an opportunity to learn about video production, audience engagement, and wine knowledge. More importantly, each episode was building an audience of people who trusted Vaynerchuk's opinions and recommendations. This audience became the foundation for dramatic growth in the family wine business, as viewers became customers and advocates. But Vaynerchuk understood that opportunities multiply as they are seized. The success of Wine Library TV created opportunities for speaking engagements, consulting relationships, and book deals. His expertise in digital marketing created opportunities to work with other businesses that needed help adapting to online platforms. His personal brand created opportunities for angel investing,